welcome back to Terrifying Bedtime Stories. Tonight, I have something special, a full-length descent into dread, madness, and the unknown. Settle in, because over the next few minutes, I'll take you through not just one nightmare, but many, all original. All true, if you believe the right people. So turn down the lights, put in your headphones, and don't say I didn't warn you. Let's begin. Story 1, The Whispering House on Lantern Road. When I was younger, my parents warned me never to go near Lantern Road. They never explained why, just said the road was cursed. Growing up in a town full of dying buildings and superstitions, you learn not to ask questions. You just avoid the things people say you should. But I'm not a kid anymore. And last fall, I went back to that town for the funeral of my father. And curiosity, well, it finally got the better of me. Lantern Road isn't much. Just a winding stretch of cracked pavement through the woods. At the very end sits a house. An ancient two-story place with gray siding, gnarled porch rails, and windows that look like hollowed-out eyes. It was known, according to the locals, as the Whispering House. They said if you stood on the porch for more than a minute, you'd hear voices. Not your own. Not from inside. But coming from the walls. I didn't believe in ghosts. I still don't, not in the way people tell it. But I believe in places that are wrong. Places that don't obey the same rules as the rest of the world. I brought a flashlight, a recorder, and my phone. And I went in alone. The front door opened without resistance. The air inside was thick and still, like the breath of something ancient that had been waiting. At first, it was silent. I crept through the living room, past old furniture with sheets over it. Peeling wallpaper. Dust that clung to the air like fog. Then I heard it. A whisper. Barely audible. It said, "He's back." I spun around. No one was there. Then, more whispers. From the ceiling. The floor. The walls. He came back. He doesn't know. Make him remember. I started recording. Even the red light on the recorder felt intrusive in that space. As I climbed the staircase, I saw something odd. Photos nailed to the wall. Old, faded, and in black and white. But when I looked closely, I recognized the faces. My father, my mother, and me. But the dates on the back, they were from 1956. I wasn't born until 1992. My flashlight began to flicker. Upstairs, one door was slightly open, revealing a sliver of darkness too thick to be natural. I pushed it open. Inside was a bedroom untouched by time. A child's room, train tracks, stuffed animals, a mobile of paper moons. On the wall was a drawing, crayon on faded paper. It showed 3 stick figures. A man, a woman, a child. The child had no face. Beneath it, written in shaky letters, "You belong here." Suddenly, the temperature dropped. The whispers returned, louder now, layered, desperate. I turned to leave and found the hallway behind me had changed. It wasn't the same. The wallpaper had changed color. The doors were different. It wasn't the house I walked into. I ran. Every hallway led to another. Every stairway brought me deeper into rooms I hadn't entered. I found a cellar that hadn't been there before. Inside were shelves of jars, each containing teeth, hair, or fragments of photographs soaked in something dark. One jar had my name etched into the glass. Then, the lights died. I don't remember much after that. Just the sensation of falling. Of voices laughing. Crying. Screaming. I woke up in my car. Parked outside my childhood home. The house on Lantern Road. Gone. Not even a foundation. But the recorder, it had one file. Just static. Until the last second. Then, my voice whispering back to myself. You came back. Story 2, the things in the cornfield. No one plows the old Singleton property anymore. Not since the 1980s, when the last of the family vanished without a trace. The house still stands, barely, its skeletal frame half swallowed by corn that continues to grow despite no one tending it. They say the land grows what it wants, not what you plant. When I was 17, I took a dare to spend a night in that cornfield. We were drunk, and I wanted to impress Ellie, the only girl in town who didn't laugh at my stutter. The rules were simple: enter the field at midnight, walk until you find the clearing, and wait there until dawn. Easy. The corn was taller than me, brittle and dry. But it wasn't the wind that moved it, it was something else. Something crawling through it, always just out of sight. I kept hearing clicking noises, like a bug's mandibles or tiny bones being snapped in half. I found the clearing at 1:12 a.m. There was a circle of flattened stalks, and in the middle stood a single scarecrow. Its head was a burlap sack, drawn into a face with jagged ink. I sat in the dirt and waited. Then the scarecrow moved. Just a twitch of its arm at first. Then its head tilted toward me. I stood up to run, but I couldn't find the trail I came in on. The corn had changed. The clearing was smaller. The scarecrow had taken a step forward. I ran. Every direction I turned, the field stretched out endlessly. But the scarecrow kept appearing ahead of me. No matter which way I turned, it was there. Eventually, I collapsed. When morning came, I was found on the Singleton front porch, face down and babbling. I never stuttered again, because I never spoke again at all. Story 3, Voices Beneath the Lake. They drained Lake Merrill in 2019 after the dam cracked. People said it was cursed. I thought they were being dramatic. I was part of the team brought in to inspect the lake bed. Mostly mud, trash, and lost fishing lures. But in the center was something else, what looked like the roof of a church steeple. We had no record of any structure beneath the lake. I descended with a camera and harness. It wasn't just a steeple, it was an entire chapel buried under the lake bed. I broke through a skylight and landed in pews caked with black sludge. The walls were covered in symbols I didn't recognize, drawn in thick, tar-like lines. The altar was still intact, and someone, or something, was singing. Softly. Beneath my feet. I thought it was a trick of the acoustics. Until the pews began to move. They weren't pews. They were people. Folded into themselves. Story twisted, the forgotten passenger. Their eyes driving is boring. Their mouths will people come and go, and you learn not to ask questions. It got loud night. I picked up a close-aimed mirror on a road that doesn't exist on any map. I shouldn't have looked back. She wore an old-fashioned dress, they were rising, and a veil. Crawling. She said she was going to visit her husband's grave. The GPS died as soon as she got in. My camera didn't. My phone froze. Some nights, when it rains, the car kept to feel like it gave away. You can hear the song. We drove for an hour through thick fog. No signs. No turns. Just road. Then she said, "Stop here." We were in front of a gate. Beyond it, a cemetery I'd never seen before. Old stones. Hundreds of them. She opened the door but didn't get out. She turned to me and said, "He never forgave me. But I forgive you." Then she was gone. Door closed. Seatbelt still buckled. But the seat was empty. I checked the dash cam footage the next day. There was no passenger. Not once. Not for the whole ride. But the camera did catch something else. Every time I glanced in the rearview mirror, her face was there. Story 5, The Mirror Collector. When my aunt passed away, she left behind a massive estate filled wall to wall with antique mirrors. They covered every surface, floor to ceiling, all perfectly polished. Not a speck of dust. But the weirdest part, none of them showed my reflection. I'd wave, dance, snap my fingers. Nothing. Then one mirror blinked. Not me. The reflection of me. But it blinked before I did. Then it smiled. I backed away and tried the others. Same thing. They didn't follow me, they led me. Predicting my movements. Mocking them. I smashed one. The shard sliced my palm open. The blood vanished from my hand, but appeared on the reflection. I left the house that night. Sold it for a loss. But one mirror followed me. Every morning, it's there. Leaning against my bedroom wall. And my reflection is always just a little too late. Story 6, The Babysitter's Last Night. Allison was a college student babysitting for a new family. 2 kids, rich house, huge yard. Simple night. The parents left at 7 p.m. By 7:30, the power went out. She found a flashlight and checked on the kids. Both were asleep. That's when she noticed something odd. The family photos. In all of them, the children were different. Same ages. Same settings. But different kids entirely. She looked at the ones upstairs, same thing. Every few months, 2 new children. She ran back to the bedroom. Empty. Then she heard it. From the basement, a child's voice whispering, "You're next." She opened the basement door and found a pile of shoes. Tiny shoes. Dozens of pairs. All covered in dust. And 1 pair of adult heels. Still warm. Story 7, The Static Room. I bought an old TV at a yard sale. No brand. Just wood paneling and a single knob. When I turned it on, it didn't play shows. Just static. But sometimes the static changed. It formed shapes. People. Places. Accidents. And I realized it was showing future tragedies. Always 5 minutes before they happened. A crash. A fire. A drowning. And always near me. I tried to intervene once. Ran to stop a man from stepping in front of a truck. I saved him. And then I watched my brother fall down the stairs and break his neck. The TV glowed brighter. The static hissed louder. Now it shows me things I can't stop. And I don't dare unplug it. Because last week, it showed my own death. And I don't know when the timer started. You made it through all of them. If you're still awake, you're braver than most. Or maybe something just hasn't gotten to you yet. Thank you for listening to Terrifying Bedtime Stories. If you enjoyed tonight's nightmares, don't forget to like this video, leave a comment sharing your favorite story or your own paranormal experience, and most importantly, subscribe for more chilling tales every week. Sleep well if you can.